Hi, my name is Brenton Dowdy. I'm a worship leader at IHOP KC, and I just want to take a minute to encourage you and just strengthen you in your journey, to not give up, to keep fighting hard. And I know what it's like to be in a prayer movement and to be pushing. Before I was here at IHOP KC in my hometown, I was fighting for night and day prayer and pushing and leading prayer meetings and burns and trying to share the vision and bring people in, and it can be really hard. And I just want to tell you a story of a time that I was in Brazil in 2010, and I had an encounter with the Lord that I think will encourage you too, because I was feeling burnout and I was ready to give up on trying to reach for prayer and convince people. I felt like I kept hitting dead ends and hitting walls and wanting to quit, and I was just feeling like I can't do this anymore. Maybe it's not right. And then one of the worship leaders who were at the conference I was at called for people to raise their hand if they felt called to the tent of David and restoring the tent of David, and they were going to pray for everyone. And so I stood up and was like, I'll take prayer, even though I was discouraged and feeling defeated. And I closed my eyes and was just waiting for people to come. And when I closed my eyes, I saw Jesus like 10 feet away, 15 feet away from me, just off, coming up from the distance, and he stopped right there. And I didn't know what was going on, but I felt this strange feeling, and he just looked at me and he smiled. And he just waited, and it's like he knew what was about to happen to me, and he was there to comfort me, because what happened the next moment is I realized in my heart I'd given up on the vision, I'd given up on the calling, and I just started sobbing uncontrollably as I realized, like in my heart, I had just said, I'm done with this, and I hadn't even admitted it to myself yet. And I started to quit, and I started to weep, but he just smiled. He just stayed there and just smiled. And I fell to the ground crying, and physically, as I'm having this vision, I fell to the ground crying. And then I see him smile, and all of a sudden he reaches out, and I feel this touch in my gut physically, and it's like this fire came in me and a strength, and I stood up, and bubbling out of my mouth, I looked up at him and said, I'll never give up again. And then he disappeared. And I was so encouraged, because I just wanted to encourage you to say, don't give up. He's the source of your strength. You cannot do this by yourself. What you're doing is way too hard to do on your own. And if you try to do it in your own strength, it won't work. But if you look to Jesus, he can strengthen you. He will strengthen you. He's all that you need. And he can give you the resolve to not quit. It's going to be worth it. And what we do here at IHOP KC is hard. Even with the establishment and the 24/7 and the amount of people we have, it gets hard some days, and we have to look to him for strength and for courage. So do the same. Look to him. You will be strengthened. What you're doing is worth it. It's making a difference. And even what I did in my hometown is still having fruit to this day. So don't quit. It'll be worth it. And you'll be grateful that you didn't give up, and you will see the fruit. One day we will see it, and you'll get to rejoice in heaven with what you've done. Be encouraged.